Yes, we are here brewing beer yet again. Yet again, brewing beer for your benefit, for my benefit, for everyone's benefit. It is another brew day. It's another brew video about beer. Today is a Pilsner test sort of experiment. Let me explain. We all know the German Pilsner. We love it. We enjoy it. This is a drier, sort of potentially a little more hoppier version. The Bohemian Czech Pilsner is the other variation of it, and that can be a little more sweeter, I guess you could say. This is a German Pilsner sort of idea. What I'm doing is I'm going to do a yeast experiment. Everyone's heard about the quick fermented lagers, and those are fun to make, and they're quick, and you can get really good results of award-winning beer doing quick lagers, quick pilsners. In fact, I've heard of breweries winning gold medals at JBF, silver medals at JBF for their Pilsner done with like WLP 810 yeast. The whole stigma of you have to do it, the whole lager thing, the whole rigmarole, as much as I like the history behind it, we don't have to do that. There's a reason why they did it. I have a whole video about lagers and authentic lagers I will put in the description below. I went over a bunch of different methods and from a really credible source that did a bunch of research on this. But today I'm using the WLP 800. I've never fermented that warm. So what I'm going to do is do a split batch. 1 gallon is going to get fermented at 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The other one's at like 65 degrees Fahrenheit. There are some lager strains that can go that high. I know that the Y yeast 2124 I fermented at 65 degrees Fahrenheit without a problem. And I'll once the first one's done in like 2 weeks, I'll just bottle it and let it cold condition. The other one that's gonna ferment cold, I'm gonna keep cold for about a month. Ferment at 50 degrees, not do the acid or rest, just let it clean up naturally. Bottle it, compare. Saws at about 38 IBUs. I'm doing only Pilsner malt. I'm using 2-row because honestly I can't tell the difference between Pilsner and 2-row on a blind test. I guarantee it. So yeah, let's see if a yeast that's supposed to ferment cold can ferment warm. I never heard of this being fermented warm. And see the difference back to back. If one has more esters, one is sulfurier, one is cleaner. We will find out. I have already mashed in. And let's just show that right now. So yes, that was 3.5 gallons of water. I have here just the 2-row, and the salt I did was going for about 80 in the sulfate and about 30 in the chloride. Why 80 in the sulfate? I know German Pilsner water is supposed to be soft and stuff, but that's for more pH reasons. This is more like, I like a bite. A little crispy bite to my Pilsners. A little bit of sulfate there I think drives it home big time. So just a little bit there, got my pH to 5.2, rocking and rolling. Let's continue. Let's keep going. Yeah, let's do it. All right, 10:44, 10:45 actually. My post boil is supposed to be 10:47, so I'm definitely over my my efficiency here. I got good efficiency this time. It does happen. I can dilute this down. I have some distilled water. I have about a half gallon of that. I'm gonna boil for about 15-20 minutes. I'll add my hops as usual. I'm gonna dilute it down a little bit right now, and I'm gonna calculate it out so I don't make a mistake last time of just adding stuff in without measuring it. And take a gravity reading, and I'm gonna try and get this down to about 10:42, 1, a little closer to where I want to be. And yeah, so I want a good starting point so my IBUs are about accurate too. So I'll do that now. Okay, I put about literally 0.1 gallons, and that put me at 10:43. I'm just gonna leave it there and do a very light boil on this, and hopefully end around 10:50. I will take a gravity reading about 45 minutes into the boil, and if I'm way high, I'll dilute down even more to get closer to where I'm trying to get to. But it's okay. I think why I got a better efficiency this time is my water to grain ratio was a little bit closer to what's standard. Because of the small batches I'm doing, the space between where the grain sits in the bottom is about a 1.5 gallons. And this time I think I just had I had less grain, only 5 pounds instead of my 6.75 pounds. The water to grain ratio was a little thinner, and instead of being too thick, I think it helped with efficiency. That's a total theory though. It's okay, rock and rolling. we're still doing our thing. All right, 15 minutes left in the boil. I'm at 10:48. I'm gonna keep it going. I think in 15 minutes this should be probably like 10:50. A little higher than I was going for, but I think I'm gonna be okay. $10.53. So, as I said earlier, my goal was 10:47. 2 full gallons. They're cooled down to about 63 degrees Fahrenheit. I sort of split that difference. I'll probably, the one I'm going to ferment at 50 degrees Fahrenheit, I'll put it into my chest freezer that's set to 50 right now. Maybe need like 3 or 4 hours or so. I'll pitch it. It's close enough to be pitching to the temps of where it should be. I don't think it matters that much personally when I've pitched a little higher or lower in temps to try to match what I'm doing, but I've heard it helps. I did realize that this is a brutulosophy thing they did. I looked it up. I was looking to see about fermenting this strain warm, and brutulosophy came up when I Googled it, and they did this exact experiment with this exact yeast strain. So I didn't know that. I wasn't trying to copy them. I thought they had done something like that, but I couldn't remember, and maybe it was one of those things where just stuck in and I forgot they had done it. So we'll have double comparison, theirs, and then we'll do mine and see if I got the same results. I obviously won't have a triangle test thing that they do. It will just be me doing it or tasting it, but that's all right. So let's go to the tasting now. Made it. Officially have made it. Tasting these lagers. The cold fermented one was I did pretty much a full month. Never raised the temperature, kept it at 55 to 50 in that range. The warm one, 2 weeks in, bottled it, so it conditioned longer in the bottle than the cold one did, but it's still fermented warm. As you can see, I have this taped up. I taped them at bottling, so I do not know what's what. I got authentic, quote-unquote, pilsner style glasses. Let's do it. It seems fairly clear, actually. Go a hair longer maybe, but definitely in the ballpark, you know. I'd say, another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, these guys will be pretty clear, or, definitely in style for clarity. All right, the other one. I'd imagine these would be the same color, unless one got oxidized, which is a possibility as always with my beer. This one seems murkier and a little darker. No, maybe not. They're very, very close. This one's a little murkier. I don't do gelatin findings, but for this style, I definitely would more in the future because they're still a little too hazy for style. The smell in the first one is pretty good. I'm not getting anything off, really. It has like a sweet smell to it a little bit. I'm not getting that grain Pilsner smell to the beers I usually like for Pilsners. Lagers, I should say, but this is a Pilsner, technically, is what I was trying to make. Okay, let's give it a taste. Yeah, it's good. It's a hair sweet. And it could be a hair crisper, a little more of a bite to it than what this has. Very quenchable, though, still. No off flavors at all. All right, now this one. Very similar smell. A little less sweet than this one. Well, this one's a lot more subdued. Doesn't really smell like anything. It smells just like a beer. Is that a thing? I mean, it is a beer, so. All right. This is a little crisper, a little bit better. It's not fruit, but it could be a hair fruitier. Maybe that's what I'm getting over the sweetness. This one is cleaner smell, a little smoother, a little crisper, and yeah, a little less sweet. That's the only really comparison I have between the two. And honestly, in a blind taste test, I don't even know if I could get the difference. I like this one a little bit better, knowing that they are different, but not by much. The bitterness level is great on them. Everything else is clean about them. Nothing wrong with them. Very easy drinking. I've said this many times on this channel. Lagers are easy for me to make. I don't know why. I mean, I'll take a hair sweet, a little sweet on this one. I mean, that's the only flaw. Sounds great to me. And these will clear out. I just got to cold condition them a little longer. Because I like this one a bit better, I'm going to say it's the cold fermented one, and it's sat longer. It's a little bit, and that sweetness could be the esters of this one, which would lend me to believe that this was a warm fermented lager. Just speculation, though. So cold fermented this one. Let's see. Oh, it's the warm. That's the warm lager. That's so bizarre. That is so freaking bizarre. It's my favorite one. It tastes beautiful. Nothing wrong with it. No esters on it. No diacetyl. Nothing. I fermented it, what, 65 range? About a week and a half, 2 weeks max, like a normal beer. Bottled it. That was it. That's crazy. All right, now let's see what the Brulosophy people said. They fermented theirs at 66 and then 50 degrees. Those were much clearer than mine. Oh boy. So they did 39 people for theirs. 19 would have to be accurate, or would have to get it right in order for it to be a difference, or statistical significance is what they say. And only 13 accurately could detect it as being different. You know, this would be interesting to do with a bunch of other different strains that are supposed to be at 50 degrees. I can't believe this one is the better beer. And it's a preference. Again, people could like this one better. Again, this is my preference. It doesn't mean anything to anyone else. You know, warm lagers definitely get some bad rap sometimes in the beer community. Who cares? They taste great. That's all that matters. That really is all that matters, is how good they taste. So that's a fun little experiment I did. And now I have a bunch of good lagers to drink. And there you go. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. Merch is below. It's the beer shirt. And stay tuned for more videos, and see you next time.